Welcome to Trivia Clips. Time to crank up the volume and dive into the world of Deep Purple, one of the most powerful rock bands of all time. This is part 1 of the True or False Challenge, Deep Purple Edition. You have 5 seconds to answer each one. Let's begin. 1. Deep Purple was originally formed in the United States. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. False. Deep Purple was formed in Hartford, England in 1968. They're considered part of the British hard rock explosion. Their early sound was heavily influenced by progressive rock. They later shifted toward heavier, faster music. They're one of the pillars of British rock. 2. Smoke on the Water was recorded in a hotel room. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. False. The song was written after a fire destroyed their venue in Montreux, but it was recorded at the Grand Hotel using a mobile studio. They set up makeshift gear inside empty hallways. It wasn't glamorous, but the result was legendary. That riff became one of rock's most iconic. 3. Ritchie Blackmore was the band's original bassist. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. False. Blackmore was the original guitarist, not bassist. He was known for his neoclassical solo style. Nick Simper played bass on the debut album. Blackmore later formed Rainbow after leaving Purple, but he was never a bass player. 4. Ian Gillan once played the role of Jesus in a rock opera. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. True. Ian Gillan sang the role of Jesus in Jesus Christ Superstar. It was the original studio recording, not staged. His powerful range made the role unforgettable. This gig helped raise his profile as a vocalist. It happened just before joining Deep Purple. 5. Deep Purple once held the Guinness World Record for the loudest band. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. True. They hit 117 decibels during a 1972 concert in London. The noise reportedly knocked fans unconscious. It became part of their legendary status. They were louder than The Who and Led Zeppelin. This title stuck with them for years. 6. The album Machine Head was their debut. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. False. Machine Head was released in 1972, but it wasn't the debut. Their first album was Shades of Deep Purple in 1968. Machine Head was their 6th studio album. It included hits like Smoke on the Water and Highway Star. It's their most commercially successful record. 7. David Coverdale replaced Ian Gillan as lead singer. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. True. After Gillan left in 1973, Coverdale took over vocals. He had a bluesier, deeper voice than Gillan. The band's sound changed with his arrival. He later became famous with Whitesnake. His run with Deep Purple was short, but key. 8. Deep Purple never changed their lineup. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. False. They're famous for constantly changing members. Each version is known by Mark numbers, Mark 1, Mark 2, etc. Guitarists, vocalists, and drummers rotated often. The Mark II lineup is the most iconic. Stability was never their strength, but creativity was. 9. Roger Glover played keyboards in the band. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. False. Roger Glover is the longtime bassist of Deep Purple. The keyboard role belonged to John Lord and later Don Airey. Glover is also known for producing other artists, He shaped much of the band's sound behind the scenes, but he never played keys with them. End of part 1. How many did you get right? Stay tuned. Part 2 is coming with even more powerful facts. Welcome back to Trivia Clips. This is part 2 of the True or False Deep Purple Challenge. You have 5 seconds for each question. Let's rock. 11. Deep Purple was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in the 90s. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. False. They were inducted in 2016, much later than expected. Many fans felt it was long overdue. Some key members weren't included in the ceremony. There was even controversy over the lineup invited, but they finally received their honor. 12. John Lord invented the Hammond organ. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. False. He didn't invent it, but he revolutionized its use. Lord ran it through guitar amps for distortion. This gave Deep Purple a heavier sound. His solos became legendary parts of their songs, but the Hammond organ existed long before. 13. The band disbanded for almost a decade. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. True. They split in 1976 due to tension and burnout. Fans thought it was the end for good. But in 1984, they reunited with the classic lineup. The comeback album was Perfect Strangers. It marked a powerful return to form. 14. Ian Pace is the only member who never left the band. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. True. Pace has been the drummer since day one. While others left and returned, he remained constant. His drumming style is precise and explosive. He anchors every version of the band. He's the quiet engine of Deep Purple. 15. Child in Time was a cover of a Beatles song. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. False. Child in Time was an original Deep Purple song. It's one of their longest and most emotional tracks. The vocal screams became Ian Gillan's signature. It showcased their progressive and psychedelic roots. No Beatles connection at all. 16. The band once collaborated with an orchestra. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. True. In 1969, they performed with the Royal Philharmonic. The piece was called Concerto for Group and Orchestra. John Lord composed the whole symphonic fusion. It was bold and ahead of its time. Few rock bands had dared to do that. 17. Steve Morse replaced Ritchie Blackmore on guitar. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. True. Morse joined in 1994 after Blackmore's final exit. His technical skill gave the band a modern edge. He stayed with them for nearly 30 years. Fans embraced him despite Blackmore's legacy. He brought fresh life to Deep Purple. 18. Deep Purple has never released a live album. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. False. They've released multiple live albums over the years. Made in Japan is considered one of the best ever. Their stage energy translated brilliantly to recordings. Fans love their extended solos and improvisations. Live albums are a huge part of their legacy. 19. Highway Star was written during a bus ride. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. True. It was written spontaneously on a tour bus. They were asked how they wrote songs and just did it. The band jammed the structure that same night. It became one of their fastest and most iconic tracks. Proof that genius can happen on wheels. 20. Deep Purple has sold over 100 million records worldwide. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. True. They're one of the best-selling rock bands in history. Their albums and tours drew millions of fans. Smoke on the Water alone became a global anthem. Their influence extends across genres and generations. The numbers prove their massive impact. End of part 2. How did you do, rock legend? Drop your score in the comments and don't forget to subscribe for more legendary quizzes.